When Jesus washed, when Jesus washed, He washed my sins away. Oh, happy day. Remix, remix, remix. Peace, tranquility. Roll up the weed and get high. I said, peace, tranquility. Roll up the weed and get high. I said, peace, tranquility. Roll up the weed and get high. Peace, tranquility. Roll up the weed and get high. All right, gang. What's going on, man? We back with another one. First and foremost, I go by the name of Lade.
Desmond Bonet.
You are now tuned into another episode of WTFU Radio, sponsored and brought to you by the Blue Light Lounge. All right. Episode 10. Yeah. We made it. Yeah. I don't know whether to have the round of applause or have the crickets. I don't know. Oh, yeah.
We're going to throw some rounds of applause in there, man. So it's a good accomplishment, man. 10 episodes. Technically more than 10 episodes because a few episodes were broken down into 2 parts, but...
Crickets. Okay, so the title of this episode is called Here We Go Again. And I'll put DMX voice because here we go again. Before we dissect and go into our main topic, I really just want to just do a moment of silence for Chadwick. He passed away due to colon cancer. People know him as Black Panther. People know him as Mr. Thurgood Marshall. People know him as Mr. Jackie Robinson. And
it was actually the first time I got introduced to him.
Yeah, it's just like words cannot describe how the Black community is feeling right now. It just seems like every time we take a foot forward, we gotta take 10 steps backwards. And you know, the first thing or the first thought that came to my mind in his passing was, it's not fair. Like, it's not fair. You have, you know, and I don't care how people put this. You got people like 6ix9ine still alive getting away with all this bullshit. And then you have good people like Chadwick passing away, you know, and I know that there's a lot of conspiracy theories about his passing, but I'm not gonna disrespect that man, you know, even though I consider myself a free thinker, I'm not gonna do it. Like I'm just not. And it's just sad, man. It's just this. He was a role model. He was a leader. He was an extraordinary man who carried the torch and was going to be a huge role model for the Black community. It just seems like every time we have a role model or somewhat form of a father figure, you know, they end up either murdered or they end up dying. And it's not fair. We went through Pop Smoke, we went through Nipsey, we went through Kobe Bryant, and now we're going with Chadwick. And it's just like, when will it end? We know that death is a part of our life. We know that all of us have to transition one day. But, you know, when we think about death, we normally tie ourselves to die of natural causes, you know, die in our sleep, you know, get older, you know, pass away because we older. We don't think that we'll pass away because we get cancer or somebody will shoot us. Like, we never think of that being feasible for us, you know. So for those things to happen, especially at young ages, is it's not to take it lightly. Just to to take every day as as a privilege, and also to do your best, with all four of these men, kings passing. And this is not to take away from Chadwick, this is actually to add to him, is that all of these men have left an example of qualities that every Black man should live up to. Exactly. All of these men showed work ethic. They showed hard work. They showed dedication. They showed I can't even like the list goes on. I can't even utter the words to say right now.
I don't even know if I'm saying the word correctly, but what a word I would throw in there is heroism. Like I really use that term just because it's always tied to it's always tied to something fictional. But these kings, these men, in my opinion, are heroes, and I feel like their work proves that they are rightfully so. I'm still, we talked about it briefly, and I've been talking about it, on and off since it happened. But I still don't even have no like real deep words for it, except for the people around him. I want to use that as a symbol. Me and you always preach to have people around you that genuinely love and support you, and make sure it's reciprocated. Like, make sure, even if your circle is small, make sure it's the best circle that you can have, and not one person leaked out any personal information that he was going through. Even at a time when people was making fun of him because of how skinny he looked, he still didn't. Well, I don't know how it affected him on a personal level, but that information still didn't come out.
Well, let's just put it like this, because we're delivering information that we saw on social media or on the news, et cetera, et cetera. But at the end of the day, we do not know who he told. We don't know. Suppose he didn't tell anybody, and it was just his wife and close family members. So that stays a mystery. One of my things that I want to point out is that we are losing too many of our kings and queens at a young age. And Joe Budden mentioned this on this podcast when he said he turned 40, and at 40 years old, he's just now learning all the things that, all the things that he needs to know, right? For his business, for his legacy. And he's still learning. And he said, God given, he still has another 30, 40 years left to keep on learning information, and as it relates to these four kings, and it relates to, especially Chadwick, these men weren't even in their prime. These men weren't even near, getting started. Pop Smoke, what was that?
Nowhere near started with him.
Come on with the music. Nipsey Hussle, his first album out of all the albums he did that was starting to get recognition, that actually got recognized. Kobe Bryant, a legend who was starting to begin the legendary work off the court. Off the court, his organizations were going to help so many kids, all across the world, and they already have. Imagine those kids who were in his basketball camps. Imagine the kids that he taught how to do a jump shot. He taught defense too. Imagine all the people that were just around his presence. Imagine all the kids who watched his tapes and still watch his tapes, trying to mimic his moves just like he did Jordan. Imagine how they feel right now. you know, and you see it with Chadwick because so many kids in their photos are crying doing this. You know, they're in deep sorrow that we've lost, you know, and we tend to say, and I like the word you use, heroes, because we tend to say that when we see Marvel, we see DC, we tend to say we wish that we can have these superpowers in real life. And here we had a man right here who had those superpowers in real life. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that? You know, there's people who watch Black Panther millions of times, you know, like myself included, you know, and it's almost like every time you watch it, well, for me personally, because I like to dissect and decode movies, but you learn something new, you know. I just want to share a second thought, you know, and I only say this because I hold Chadwick to such a high caliber, such a high degree. You know, you informed me that they were doing a tribute to Chadwick, and they were doing his. They were showing a movie in honor of him. You know, for me, I appreciate ABC for doing that gesture, but I think it was more of a publicity stunt rather than anything, you know, really organic, because the tribute sucked. And I hate to say that in a, you know, and just be so blunt. And I think they could have done a better job with the tribute. You know, yes, I think they wanted to deliver it straight after he died. Mm-hmm. However, I think they could have taken a little bit longer to compose something that felt more heartfelt, similar to what they did with Kobe Bryant. And I think
I feel like with Kobe they took time, and with this one I think everything was within the same week.
Yeah. So everything was rushed, and I think they should have honored him in the same degree, honor him in that same manner, you know, rather than rush it. And I'm listening to some of the words that the different actors from Marvel are saying, and to me, it was just like, it was almost false. Like they didn't have enough time to gather their thoughts. They didn't have enough time to process what they really wanted to say. So they had to say something, you know, and that's not fair. That's not fair for Chadwick. And I also wanted to say, and maybe, I don't know, because maybe these people did not want to speak. However, I wish more Black individuals spoke up. You know, I saw the post that Michael B. Jordan posted, and my prayers are with him. You know, during this time, you know, to know that you knew somebody from 16.
And I had no idea that this man, like, I thought he had a stunt double in Black Panther.
Like, oh no, yeah, no, man,
nobody could have told me that was nobody could have told me that was not a stunt double. But this man knew martial arts, like he did it all.
Yeah. And you know, like when it comes to legacy, and when it comes to like leaving it all behind, you know, that is the kind of person that I want to be. You know, I want to be at my funeral, and they're saying different things, and people are like, wait, what? He did that? Wait. When did he have, wait. When did he? Bro, I was with him the whole time. Like, come on, like, how come? You know? And that just shows dedication to life. You know, just like when we found out that Nipsey passed, and how much stuff he was doing, you know, and how much stuff he was about to do. It shows like Kobe, how much stuff he was about to do. It just shows Pop Smoke how many artists he was working with, you know, how much music he was going to create, you know. And I hate that we have to live in that what if, you know, the same way we did with Pac and Biggie. You know, I hate that when, you know, if God grants us, you know, 10 more years, 20 more years, we're going to say, what if? You know, we're gonna say, you know, so my condolences, our condolences, excuse me, to the family, to the close friends, to the actors. You know, when somebody dies, the quickest thing that we normally say is, I'm sorry, my condolences. If you need anything, I'm here for you.
Yeah.
However, we know that those words don't help. And we just say that just to, even though we mean well, we're showing our support, we know that those words do not do anything.
Yeah.
You know.
One thing I would like to interject with is with Chadwick Boseman in particular. I'm starting to learn to take the things that these people work hard to give while they're alive. And the reason why I'm saying that is because to find out that this man was battling colon cancer for 4 years and still not only trained but executed, I think, I could be wrong with the number, but I think about 7 movies within that time of going through surgeries and dealing with chemo. I've been one to complain about not having time or not feeling well or just not being motivated and just giving myself an excuse to not do something. I looked at him as a hero, not just because of Black Panther, but because I watched so many videos of him visiting hospitals before they plastered it, you know, everywhere for publicity. I watched so many of those videos, seeing so many pictures from countless fans that he touched. Not just like, you know, physically touched to let them know you can do it too, but spiritually touch them. This man, there's an interview that resurfaced again where he said in the beginning of him shooting Black Panther and visiting these hospitals with these terminally ill kids who didn't have long to go, and they told him, "We're holding on because we want to see this movie." That shit made me tear the way he was tearing on camera. He made it his purpose. He took on that purpose without complaining, without saying too much about it, without even showing what he was wearing. He took that and made sure he worked hard. He did everything he needed to do and made sure that this movie was amazing, not just for the whole Marvel, because I know a lot of people love the comic books and stuff like that, but not just only for the Marvel and the movie world, but to show these kids, especially the terminally ill kids, to let them know that I'm here to honor your last wish. This shit is gonna get done and you're gonna live to see it. That's the type of man that we lost. And I wanted to say that specifically because I came across a few posts where people like, you didn't even know him. Why are you, you know, there's always somebody that's gonna say that. I didn't know this man. I never had the privilege or the honor of meeting this man. Yeah. But his greatness shined through whatever it was that you was watching him on. Yeah. That's powerful, man.
Yeah.
I hope to do that one day. I hope someone can watch us and just feel the energy through the screen and learn and be inspired, because that's what he did to so many people. And he didn't complain not once, man. This man worked his ass off and gave the world not just regular work. And I know I've been throwing this word around a lot, but it's because I mean it. This man is the true definition of giving you purposeful work. Every single movie, even the movies that I didn't know about that I had to research on, every single movie wasn't just a role that he was, oh, that's cool, I'm gonna do it. No, every role he took what came with a purpose, and he executed that purpose.
All of them.
So everybody out there that's complaining and saying you don't have this and this and that, and myself included, this man or anybody that we care about and hold accountable, there's no reason to complain anymore. I don't want to hear it anymore. This man was
No.
dying. They don't understand that. I lost my grandfather to cancer. I know how that looks. This man was dying and still bust his ass. Not even for him.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and another thing I want to commend him for is living a private life. Cause so many people want to show off, you know, the glitz and glamour and stuff like that. Bro, like, I didn't even know he's married.
Wow, that's facts.
Like, I didn't even know. I didn't even know. That's the kind of person that I want to be, man. Like, I want to be that successful person, you know, um, chilling. And people, I'm dissecting a little bit. Hold on a second. Right? Those who really know me, they know that I was part of this men's group. I can't talk much about it. Anyhow, the Humans of New York did an interview with this old guy, right? It was around Central Park area. And he was explaining how he likes to walk around the park and just enjoy himself, and he's successful and he's happy. You know, he's published about 7 or 8 books, and they've all been on a New York Times bestseller list. All of them. Regular guy walking down the street, you wouldn't even recognize him. The same week, the men's group had a meeting in Central Park. And who do me and my friends see? We see him chilling on the stoop, smoking a cigar, just chilling. And I'm just like, wow, like this is the life that I want to live, you know, to do what you love, be financially stable, and to have joy within your mind, body, and soul, to just be free and not have to really, you know, and don't tell everything that you're doing to the world. Mm-hmm. You don't need to. You don't need to show off. It's just be a man of God. Focus on what's making you happy. Make sure your family is good, and try to inspire the next generation behind you or the people around you. And that's what that man did. That's what Nipsey did. That's what Pop Smoke did. That's definitely what Kobe Bryant did. Despite all, because all of them had adversities. All of them had adversities, man. Pop Smoke had the issue with the cops, you know, and he was a gang member, so people gave him, you know, the same thing with Nipsey. People gave him backlash, you know, for that. You know, Kobe Bryant went through their whole sexual, you know, thing, you know, which
they try to bring up again after.
Yeah, of course, which he was found not guilty.
They
you know
that though.
Yeah, of course they didn't, and he went through and he went through all of those, you know, trials and tribulations, you know, and then you have Chadwick, who battled cancer, you know, and still busted his ass. You know, it's almost like we had like the best of the gang world, you know, with Pop and Nips, and then we just had the best of kind of like the mama mentality with Kobe and Chadwick, and we have two different groups of learning examples. One for the street people, and one for the business savvy people. Mm-hmm. And I don't think we paid attention to it, but we need to combine what we just learned so we can move forward as a Black people. Right? We have the best of the gangs, and we have the best of the business. We need to combine it together to move forward in whatever we're doing, you know. And I'm just taken back at everything, you know, because, you know, I went through my own hardships in life. You know, I went through, you know, just like everybody else. I'm not different from you. I'm not different from Desmond. I'm not different from anybody else. You know, I go through my own hardships in life, you know, and, you know, we fucking fight, bro. If you hear some of our stories, we be like, well, word, you went through that, you know, and I'll be honest, yo, there's some days where I don't want to do nothing, bro. There's some days where I just want to sit in my bed all day and do nothing, you know. But to hear a man battle cancer for 4 years and kept it moving,
not one complaint, not just
yeah, not one complaint, not one. To hear it, it just reminds me of everybody that to hear Kobe's story, being the first person in the gym, being the last person to leave, like harassing Jordan. Oh, how'd you do this? How'd you do that? How'd you do this? You know, Nipsey and his work hustle.
it's a different level of determination.
It's
Man.
a way different level of determination, and this can inspire all of us. You know, it definitely has inspired me, especially stepping into September. Happy September to anybody who's watching this right now.
Yes,
You know,
September, man. It's a special month. It's a special month, you know.
really,
It's a special month. I'm just saying, it's a special month, man.
really.
You know, a lot of birthdays in September. You know, Virgo season. We still here. You know, September 9th. It's a special one. It's a special one. Man.
Can we let these people rest in peace first? Can we honor them, please? Okay, yeah. I'll let you take it. Yeah, but in retrospect, we do want to honor those people. We still want to remember Elijah McCain, Breonna Taylor, Vanessa, who these kings and queens all lost their life to police brutality. On the 27th of August, the Black activist, I don't want to butcher her name. Desmond and I went over it. You remember her name? I'm not doing it. I'm sorry.
I think I got it. Oluwatoyin.
All right. So her birthday was on the 27th of August. So a happy birthday to her. And just like Desmond said, yeah, happy birthday to everybody who is celebrating a birthday in September. New month. And we just want to make sure that all those kings and queens has had a smooth transition to the afterlife. We normally do a check-in. How you doing this past week? How you doing this past weekend? But I mean, with the state of events, you know, I think you pretty much know how we are doing. I'm up and down. I'm not gonna lie. You know, it's the fourth quarter, and I'm just gonna stay quiet and apply pressure. Mm-hmm. And I'm just gonna leave it like that. How am I feeling? On a scale from 1 to 5, I'm a 3.85. There's always room for improvement. And that's how I'm feeling. That's how I'm feeling. It's a lot to process. How you feeling, bro?
Honestly, for me, it's, I don't know. I'm gonna be all the way honest. I don't know. I could sit here and say it's up and down, but I don't know. Some days I wake up and I feel amazing and I'm tackling every single thing that I set out for myself on a daily basis. And other days I make mistakes and I go on social media and a lot of the shit that I see brings me from being up here all the way down. So
Yeah, bro.
I'm trying to focus on, what I will say is I'm working on focusing solely on the positives, which is why I said what I said about, taking certain things from Chadwick and even Nipsey. Like, people, I'm not even gonna say people. For me personally, Nipsey is a hero because of the image. This is quote unquote a hood person, right? Something that people always try to downplay or demonize, or you're so ghetto and this and that. No, this is someone that wore it on him, but let you know, just because he's from where he's from did not mean he was any less intellectual, did not mean he was any less business smart. He was still a man and demanded his respect and showed you that you will respect him, but still was on top of his business, helping the community, providing for the community, just doing whatever he can, and that's what I've been focused on, just trying to take the positives. And it's September, it's my birthday coming soon. So just been trying to focus on, just positive things, man. So to sum it up, I don't know. Some days are great, some days are not so great, but I'm alive, I'm still here.
That's it. Like, we're learning to count our blessings, because no day is promised. Every time, I get up, I say, thank you, God. Every time I get ready to bed, thank you, God. Same thing, to just show appreciation to life. So what happened on the 28th, after the birthday of the Queen who passed, we had the Martin Luther King anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
That happened. You've seen a lot of people out there marching. Did you get any of it? What did you think about it?
I seen a little bit of it. I didn't pay. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I didn't pay attention to the full scope of it.
All right.
Only because I kind of side with everyone who's been kind of I know you've seen it on social media, and there's this saying or quote or whatever saying, stop using Martin Luther King as the example when y'all killed him too. And I'm not taking none away from Martin Luther King. I'm not saying that he wasn't a great person. I'm not saying that he didn't stand where he was supposed to. I'm not saying any of that. Martin Luther King will forever be down in history and will forever be looked at as the person he is. But right now in 2020, I'm just on the, to be completely honest, I'm on the fence just with anything a little bit as far as peaceful, because the peaceful, it's not working. It's not working. And hopefully I answered that, but that's where I'm
Yeah.
at. So
Yeah, because that speech came out in 1963. So from that time to now, it seems like we haven't made any progression. It seems like we haven't moved forward.
Think about that. Like,
from that.
My fault.
Yeah.
Think about that. 1963. That's not that long ago. Like, it's not. It's not. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. So I took this whole week off from social media just because, it's just anyhow. But one of the things that I've noticed, and one of the things that I mentioned on my platform, is that it seems like we're put in a trap. And it seems like every generation kind of encounters its own slavery. And we're going through the same, and it's like, and the quote, the cliche quote, history repeats itself. It seems to be more of reality to these days. We keep on repeating the same thing over and over again, you know, from the slave masters and the owners. You know, it's like the same thing in NBA, same thing in sports, same thing in the music industry, definitely the same thing in the food industry. And it's like we're repeating the same thing. Same thing with same thing with police brutality, you know. And there's a picture that you see, and it's like a bunch of black men, and they're like crouching over on a table, and you see like the elites on a table, and there's like the quote saying like, all we have to do is get up. Like that's all we have to do. Like all we have to do is get up, you know. And you know, when you break down this diaspora, it seems so simple. Like all we have to do is come together. Like for one day, all we have to do is come together. All we have to do is no black killings. You know, yes, we know there's white on white crime. Yes, we know that there's other crime. All we have to do is just black people. You see another black person, respect them. Like black people for one day, don't spend any money. Like don't spend any money unless it's going to a black business. You know, like black people, all we have to do is stay off the streets for one day. You know, New York, stay out the streets. Chicago, stay out the streets. LA, stay out the streets. All we have to do is that. Atlanta, stay out the streets for one day. And we can't even do it. We can't. The sad truth is we can't. You know, and I know that a lot of people are going to rebuttal what I just said. Oh, we have this, we have that, we have this, we have that. And it's just like, well, the elites and white supremacy could come together. They could come together and plan the objectives that they already have. They already have a trajectory for the next 20 years. They already have a trajectory for the next 20, 30 years. They're already planning. What are we planning? The Jewish community, they plan. You know, the Asian community, they plan. You know? When is it time for the black people? Yeah, we talk about reparations, excuse me, and we never received it. Yes, we know. We've been handed a short hand of the stick. You know, we've been handed, you know, but we spend the most out of all of them. You know,
consistently.
We control the trend. We control the culture. The culture relies on us to live. We are the heart of the culture. It's like humanity is the body and we're the heart. Without the heart, the body cannot function.
I might get some negative responses for saying this, but if we focus more, what's the best way to put this, man? People need to stop focusing on the small shit that they was never able to have. The reason why I say that is because, in my opinion alone, that focus takes away from the bigger picture. That focus takes away from being able to sit down with someone like-minded and come up with a proper plan. But instead, you're focused on the new Jordans, the new Fendi belt or Gucci or whatever other designer. It's never on the, no, let's, just like Lade said, let's not spend. Or if you are gonna spend where it's worth it. I repeated myself a million times. I support my friends. Lade has clothing. It's a black-owned business. I spend my money there.
My homegirl got a black-owned business. I'm supporting her, you know?
Feel me? Like, you know, just it's not hard. It's not hard. If you can start over with 5 individuals, 5 kings or 5 queens, 5 kings and queens, sit down, come up with a plan and just expand. It's not that hard if you take away, like I said, this is my opinion, me alone. If you take away the jealousy and the hurt towards each other, if you take away that hurt, because don't get me wrong, I understand the hurt, but we take it out on the wrong people. The hurt is not coming from your brother or your sister, but you choose to take it out and direct the hurt to that person because you can get to the white man, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
We was at a basketball game this past weekend. Shout out to Ty and everything he did with that basketball game, right? It got a little heated in the moment, right? But then they started to use that energy to the game, and it showed they were playing just differently. Now you take that same thing and just apply it to life. All that negative energy that we tend to have against each other, staring at each other for no reason. I learned from this man, right? Because I used to be one of the ones that would want to stop. What are you staring at? I watched this man would have people stare at him. How you doing, King? How you doing, Queen? Immediately de-escalates anything that probably could have happened, and they respond with, I'm good, King, appreciate it. I'm good, King. We need to respond more like that instead of just being so quick to what he looking at or looking someone up and down. That's not necessary.
It's not. It's not. And you know what the funny part about it is? And this is why I stopped doing it, because one personally, I don't like how anger makes me feel. Like I don't. Like, I've been there. Trust me. I do not like how it feels. And two, if Black people know that they come from Africa, and I'm looking at another Black man and I'm looking at a Black queen, and they're looking back at me, and I feel some hostility and something is about to start, I have to stop and think, what if we're really family? I don't know. What if we go back, and I found out that he's my cousin. She's my aunt. And I don't know that. I just happen to think like that. The world is big, but it's small. So I'm looking at somebody and I'm like, wait, what if he's friends with somebody that I know and I'm cool with? What if she's friends with somebody who knows me? And we just started off what could possibly be a great connection, networking, resources, et cetera, off of a look. I could be looking at somebody because I like their physique, I like their style, I like their sneakers, or I'm just attracted to their energy. And that's why people can naturally be staring at you. People can naturally be staring at you because they like you.
Mm-hmm.
But we take that as a negative because we feel negative about ourselves. It's all self-reflective. So of course, when somebody looks at you with an evil or mean look, you're going to perceive it as a mean look. Take it as for an example. A guy tries to approach the female, right? But we know that all the females now have the classic bitch face, right? But we know that when you talk to the girl and you get to know them,
mm-hmm.
What happens? They not a bitch. It's just a perception. It's just the face. So we have to get past the face, past the cover on the book, stop judging, and get to know. Don't get me wrong, you're not gonna like everybody that you're in contact with. You use your energy, to base off, the energy, definitely if you feel like the energy is wrong, then obviously you don't stay, you leave. Mm-hmm. Protons, neutrons, y'all know science, y'all know math. I don't have to explain it here on this episode. However, It's tough, man. It's tough, man. We kind of digressed on that. We talking about Don Martin Luther King and
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
We done subconsciously talked about his speech about being free at last, free at last, free at last. Yeah, man.
another thing that's still going on and look like it's probably not going to end. I don't even know when. Corona still being locked in.
I mean, like businesses are slowly opening up, but we still have Corona. You know, I don't know what to. I, I have. There's nothing to say. Like the first thing that comes to mind is all these restaurants opening and then having the side streets. You know, they're opening the streets for them.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
How's that gonna work? Oh, we in September now, which means weather's gonna, start going down progressively. Like, what we doing? Like, you gonna eat outside in the snow? Like,
uh,
what's going on?
I don't know. I don't know. It's always going to be that one person trying to go for clout. You're going to see it on World Star or something like that. When we eating ramen noodles outside. They're gonna be in Hibudokan in the meatpacking district eating outside in the snow. My thing is this, like, excuse me. All right, you're trying to prevent corona, right? Or the disease from spreading or whatever the case might be, right? How is that saving the people from eating outside versus eating inside? Like, how is that any different? You know, like to me, that doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Because the people eating outside definitely don't have no mask on. And sometimes I see the servers don't have a mask on either. So
No
it's just
mask, no
like,
gloves, serving you
yeah.
food.
So in my head, I'm just like, this ain't making no sense. It just seems like a a control kind of thing. Let's see how we can, you know, it's almost like an orchestra, like how can we string people along? How can we tell people to do this and they're gonna do this? How can people tell people to do that and they're gonna do that? Makes no sense to me. Makes
That's
no
that's
sense.
really that's really what it is, man. I could go back to Tupac. They got money for wars, but can't feed the poor.
Yeah.
They have billions that we don't know about that they're signing off on every day. 1 million for this, 2 million for this, 5 million for this. But when it comes to the people, damn, and I wish I had the statistics in front of me because U.S. has the lowest numbers when it comes to the financial side during this coronavirus. Toronto, Canada, and you have overseas. Everybody took care of their people better
Oh, I know you're talking about. I know
than
you're
the
talking about.
U.S.
You're talking about like the stimulus checks and the
Yeah, like people were
unemployment.
given
Yeah.
monthly checks to keep them afloat. In the U.S., we got 1,200 that was supposed to last.
And some people didn't even get it. Some people didn't even get it. I didn't get it.
I didn't know that.
No, I didn't get it.
But that's like, oh man,
I know a number of people who haven't received it. You know, so
like it's you got all of this money for everything else, but when it comes to the important thing, you literally would rather somebody get evicted and put out on the street than giving that man or woman a chance to like live through this shit.
yeah. I mean, the Corona thing is just like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't, man. Maybe you got to start a Patreon or something like that because like half of the stuff I want to say, I know that I really can't say it on this platform. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, I
Pause this
mean,
video right now. Comment down below. Let us know if y'all want a Patreon. It'll be exclusive content, exclusive conversations. Let us know, man.
yeah, let us know, man. Let us know. Why not, man? Why not? We won't charge too much and we'll probably do more giveaway. Oh, speaking about giveaways,
Mm,
the first 200, whether we get it on YouTube for the subscribers or we get it on YouTube, or we get it on our Instagram, excuse me. 200 followers, we're going to do an official giveaway. And it's going to be a good giveaway. It's not going to be any of that, $20 or something. It's going to be a good giveaway. So stay tuned for that. It's funny that you said like rent, because we have a lot of people who are moving out of New York.
They said I'm out.
Yeah. They said. Roughly 5%. And 5% sounds like a small number, but it's a big number. Considering the 2 months from March to May. So it's roughly 420,000 people have left New York City. And that's just in between those 2 months. That's not even considering the, 8 to 9 months, because September really hasn't started yet.
Yeah.
So I'll say 8 months. So that's considering the 8 months, here. And if you're considering New York alone, picture the tri-state, New Jersey and Connecticut. Picture those amount, how many people left. My feeling is that the rent is going to have to go down because nobody's here in the city. However, the cost of living might increase. Yeah, so it's going to be counterproductive in a sense. But something's going to have to be done since so many people are leaving, which kind of makes me feel, 50-50 in a way, because I remember being in New York and seeing people coming in, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like, well, like, come on, man. And then, people are now leaving, and part of me is like, yes, get the old Brooklyn back. But then it's not the same because a lot of buildings change. The hood's already been gentrified, so you don't have that nostalgia. You don't have that feeling. It's almost like people come because it's a trend, and now that the trend is dying off, people want to leave. And it's just like, well, where does it leave the natives? Where does it leave the people who organically made the city what it's known to be?
It goes back to the whole money thing. Like, even the gentrification, like all of it was damn, I just lost the word. All of it was motivated by money. Like,
oh yeah. All of it is motivated by money, and is motivated to push us out. It's designed to push us out, especially when half the people was moving in was Europeans. Half the people who have money are Jewish and Europeans here in New York who are just literally just passing down, money from generation to generation. So,
Now, I want to make another small point to what we was talking about earlier, being that, you're talking about rent and things like that. This goes back to the whole takeover culture, right? What Lade just said, you have Europeans coming in, gentrifying certain neighborhoods, right? And you have Jewish people coming in, gentrifying neighborhoods, sometimes even taking over full blocks where there's nothing but Jews. If a lot of us kind of, I won't even say figure it out, because it's easy. Like, getting property and establishing property and everything you have to do. Wow, that was crazy.
Good.
Voice just cracked like I was 12 years old. Getting together to put together plans is not very hard when it comes to acquiring property. I've been doing a whole lot of research on it. We've been, doing a lot of research on it. It's not that hard. So if you take that same mentality and try to, I just always called it the takeover culture. White people, European people, everybody, they've been taking over shit for as long as you can remember. If we come together and start to do that, if not building by building, block by block, it'll be a slow fight, but it'll be a well worth it fight to finally have something that nobody can take down.
Yeah, and when there was talks about it, especially on social media, we talked about the Black Wall Street, You know, how we used to have our own firemen, how we used to have our own airports, own stores, and the white person burned it down. And I know there's fear of that happening again. However, we don't know until we try. Like we just don't know.
We got the militia. Damn, I forgot their name. Y'all know who I'm talking about. We still have a few Black Panther people still around.
Wait, what are you talking about? The militia? What are you talking about?
The Black militia. I don't give a fuck coalition.
You talking about no, I'm not. It's not. I'm having a brain fart right now.
The guys that went to Georgia, I forget the name of that town, but the guys that went to Georgia, basically where the KKK started.
Oh, all right. Cool.
Yeah, like
right.
those guys. Yeah. Like we have those guys now. We still have small forms of the Black Panther. So, not saying anything particular, because you never know what can happen. You can have a million guards and somebody will slip through. But what I'm saying is we have the proper resources now to protect it more than it was able to be protected back then.
Of course. You know, and my thing is, imagine having like a full Black community that had its own hospitals, that had its own ambulance, you know, EMT department, that had its own fire department, that had its own cops, you know, and we actually recognized the Black struggle. We actually appreciated the Black struggle. Because you know that there are some Black people who are against Black people, you know. So we're not talking about that. We're talking about a collective group, you know, of Black individuals who trying to unify and trying to make things better. You know, imagine if we had a community full of that. You know how you walk through a Jewish neighborhood and you're like, what the heck? You definitely don't want to go in one of their stores. You know, imagine having that for yourself, and you could go into a store and you can, you know, get this and get that, you know. And I wanna dissect, because they're all Black people doing it, because I know some places in Brooklyn, they have their own Black corner stores, which I'm happy they have, you know. Don't do anything ignorant. You see a Black business, don't go in there and rob the people. You see, I'm seeing on the news that Black people, a Black man try to rob a Black lady with a baby. What are you doing? What are you doing?
It's like it's not stopping.
Yeah. In Chicago, people are killing each other every single day.
For nothing.
From the guns that not even ours, from the guns that the white man gave the community. We need to stop. We need to stop. This. We have this I don't care mentality. I don't care. It's not about us, gang. I'm gonna represent my set. No, that has to stop.
You a bum. I'm sorry. I'm gonna just be raw with it, and that's the term I'm gonna use. Like, if you thinking that way, you're a bum. Like, there's no other way to put it. You're a bum. Whatever age you are, to still be having that mind state to rob someone with a kid, to rob a man in an elevator with his wife and his daughter. You pull out a gun to take his phone. You're a bum.
Bum. You see it now on a Citizens app, like people taking people's packages. I think we mentioned this before on another podcast too. It's like, yo, chill. You don't know what that person had to do to get that package. You don't know if that's that last person's money. You don't know if it's medicine that person needs, you know, to heal themselves. You don't know if it was a gift for their child's birthday. This whole I don't give a fuck, I don't care mentality I'm gonna just fend for myself. It gotta stop. It gotta stop because you're just stealing from your own. And at the end of the day, you're hurting your own. It ain't nothing but black people robbing from black people and saying I don't care and getting away with it.
It's really the what's the term? The crabs in a barrel.
Yeah, of
Everybody
course.
just, trying to,
Yeah, of course, of
instead of
course, of
helping,
course.
man, one stay on the top, and the next one and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. That's how you progress. That's how you evolve. That's how you
Yeah, yeah.
elevate.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that you can, I don't care what nobody says, because I used to stand on, I do this by myself, and I don't have a team, and that, there's nothing, this is what I want to say. There's nothing amazing that you can accomplish without help. Nobody is amazing by themselves. The people that we've been praising. Nipsey Hussle had a strong woman by his side, had a strong family and a strong foundation that allowed him to even think that way and accomplish the things he did.
Yeah.
Pop Smoke had that around him. Kobe had that around him and provided that same love, that same support, dedication to everybody around him.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I don't even need to say anything about Chadwick because I already said about everything that he inspired everybody to do.
Facts.
It's stepping on the next man or woman's toes. Like Lade said, not knowing what they had to do to get whatever it is, just so you can come up. Imagine if you knocked on that person's door and said, hey, my name is Desmond. I know you don't know me, but I'm good at X, Y, and Z, and maybe sometime we can sit down and bounce off ideas. I have something that I would like to try to do. I might get turned down the first time. Who say it won't work the second time or the third time?
Yeah. We so quick to put down each other that we don't realize that we are each other's resources. Listen, our ancestors, your ancestors, used to use resources. Say resources. That's not a word. Resources. One person had rice. The next person had some fruit. What did they do? They switched. They traded. One person had a corn. The next person had I don't know, had some potatoes. They traded. They traded ideas. This is that's the whole premise of trade. That's where trading came from. So stealing and robbing is not a form of trade.
You're just taking.
Yeah. You're actually following what the white man did to us. You're not following what your ancestors did. And of course, you don't care because you're trying to fend for yourself. Because you're looking out for your own. Because you're trying to get it by any means. You got to stop that. We have to stop this. We have to stop.
Just the last thing. There needs to be more unity when the difference. There needs to be more unity when the difference isn't even a big difference. And I know I've said this a million times.
Explain.
I'm probably always going to speak on it because I just feel so strongly about it, right?
All right.
Look at this podcast, right? Look on the side of me. Who you see? I'm going to say a black king, right? That's my brother. That's somebody that I call my best friend. You see me right here, right? Never hide the fact that I was Puerto Rican, never even downed it. We come together, not even just for the podcast. Like, we hang out, we talk. Like, this is really my brother. There is no difference. The only difference is I can speak Spanish, and he might not be able to speak it as well as I can, but that's the only difference. There's just a different boat stop, for lack of a better term.
¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué?
There's no difference. It's just a shade and culture. That's the only thing that's different. And a lot of you need to realize and understand the difference between race and culture.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the only difference between me and this man.
Yeah. The
And
same. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
it's a great difference because I can learn from his culture some of the things that I didn't know about. I learned from him. In the same way, vice versa with me, he can learn some things from my culture that he didn't know about.
Of course, of course.
But this whole black and brown war, and it needs to stop. And I'm gonna always speak on this, man. I have black people in my family. I'm always gonna speak in defending them because I know firsthand the things they go through, whether I've seen it or experienced it with them. So I'm always gonna fight for that.
Yeah, and
I'm always gonna let my quote unquote Latin people know that you're not better and you're not lesser. You're equal. There's no difference. The white man, listen, a white cop looks at me the same way he looks at him. White America looks at me the same way they look at him. They don't say, oh, you're Puerto Rican, you're good. No, they look at me the same way they look at him.
Yeah.
So why are you trying to create a difference that doesn't even need to be
there? Yeah. And what I was about to say is I was just gonna dumb everything down to prove how we're so much alike, right? We share some of the same cultures. I mean, yeah, I said it right. We share some of the same cultures, right? When you listen to the music, you listen to hip hop, or you listen to R&B, you listen to reggae, you listen to reggaeton, you listen to Spanish music, you listen to bachata. And I have to emphasize bachata because they have similar tones to it. They have similar drums. You look at the food. It's similar. It's similar. African food and Spanish food. Same. Rice, the beans, chicken, plantains. We have more things in common than we realize. And once we realize that, we could become powerful. Like Desmond said, because he could speak Spanish and understand Spanish, and I can't, doesn't mean that we're different. Doesn't mean that he's better than me, and doesn't mean that I'm better than him. And a lot of Spanish people have that they have that stereotype. They have that they already have that preconditioned notion that they might be better than us for that reason, or they think that they're higher. You know, just as some black people might feel like they're better because they believe that, you know, the Hispanics came from Africa. So they think that they're superior, you know, and it's not true. Because once we realize that we're fighting the same fight, is when we can become victorious in the struggle. Imagine, let me just put this, imagine a world where the Hispanics and the Blacks united together. Just like people want the Bloods and Crips to unite. And they have been uniting. Bloods and Crips have been uniting together. Imagine Hispanics and Blacks unite. Instead of being racist towards each other, instead of being stereotypical towards each other, instead of spreading hatred towards each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It'd be amazing, man. There's a clip that went viral of 3 black kids, and I think a Mexican dude jumped in. They was all dancing to Mexican music.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The same dominoes that black people play, it's the same dominoes that Spanish people play. The same spades that black people play is the same spades that Spanish people play. We have more in common. Spanish people have the chicken chicharron. Africans have the same thing too. Africans have the same thing too. Black people have mashed potatoes, you know, that kind of came from slavery. Spanish people have that too. Yuca, cassava, same thing. African have cassava. Oh, you gotta, yeah, never mind. That's for another episode. Maybe on is any Black and Spanish women who know how to cook who want to join our Patreon? No. Let us know. Let us know. Let us know. Gotta know how to cook though. Gotta know how to cook. Yeah.
Seasoning gotta be right.
Yeah. Don't do none of this. No, don't do none of this. Pull it out the freezer and nah. We
Heat it up.
Yeah. Yeah. Talking about, hey, papi. Wait, what? ¿Qué fue?
Yeah.
What? Okay, that's enough for my Spanish. Yeah. So, man. Listen. But all jokes aside, man, like we are really pushing for unity. You know, we are really pushing for everybody to come together. And every day is a new day to fight via gender and what's going on. Talking about other things that's going on, which is a new subway. We didn't even touch on Jacob Blake and a shooting. Did you still want to touch up on that? Did you want to save that for another episode? Not 100% sure, because that can be another, you know, another thing to dive into. You know, I still haven't watched the video. Like, listen, I haven't watched any of these videos that has transpired because it's just like I don't want to put that. I don't want to put that frequency in my brain.
Let's leave it to next week.
All right.
I got a few things I want to say about that in particular, and I don't want to rush it, you know, because.
All right, cool. So,
man. But one small. I know I'm saying I'm gonna add one small thing. One small thing I just want to end with, you know, before we continue on. I want to say this, and I want to start off by saying, dear celebrities, right? And I'm speaking directly to the camera and everybody watching this. You post every single day in support of when certain things is going on, right? You post in support of the Black Lives Matter movement. You post in support of just anything that's going on. Everybody's quick to go online and show their support. This is my problem, and I understand my status, and you're up here, you don't have no reason to listen, but this is my problem. Your public actions and your public words have to match up with your private actions and your private words. If you get on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever social media platform you use, and you're quick to say that we need to stop hurting our brothers and sisters, we need to stop looking at each other in these manners, and we need to uplift, and we need to do X, Y, and Z. But in the next breath, Rick Ross, go on camera and shit on another artist who you probably don't even know what he's going through behind the scenes, to make fun of him and say that you'll sign him for $5,000. I don't know Lloyd Banks. This is in no way me defending Lloyd Banks. I don't know Rick Ross. This is in no way of me trying to OD on Rick Ross. This is me simply saying, as someone who considers himself a fan of the hip hop culture, a fan of the music, and look to you guys sometimes for the support that us regular people need, so the masses can understand that we're serious about the shit we fighting for. When you turn around and negate everything you just said and go against that, and you're looking at your brother and making fun of him, saying that you're signing him for $5,000, and then posting it on Instagram and tagging him for him to see it. I salute Banks for saying what he said, and he basically tweeted out saying that he'll never involve himself in the circus. Peace and love to everyone. Rick Ross, you need to take a lot from that man and start applying that to all of the other things that you post. Because right now is not the time for it.
Yeah. And this is gonna be controversial. This is gonna get some backlash, but like the WAP song. I haven't seen it. You know, I don't I don't care to listen to it. You know, yes, everybody is going to say, well, what happened to Luke? What happened to Nelly? What happened to X, Y, and Z? Listen,
Which I was one of those, but after you explained it, I did see it differently.
listen. I see it like this, and this is my personal opinion. You know, don't come in the comments talking all yeah, but it's just my opinion. Everybody has a right to their opinion. You know, we're in this generation where information travels at the speed of light, right? We're at this age of the internet where, you know, we are we have graduated from the dial-up in a loading time. You don't have to wait an hour, you know, to download a movie now. It's you could just go to a website and watch the movie right now. You know, so we're we're at the age where there's no more a parental control. Remember when you had to go to certain websites and you couldn't go into the website because they had parental control, and you know you had to either put a password in, or you had to give your phone or your computer. I mean, we didn't even have laptops back in the day. When you talking about computer, you had to call your parents, you know, to put in a password for you. You know, and then half the time that was a struggle, because if somebody called you on the phone, your whole internet was gone. So we transitioned from there. So we're at a time, we're at an age where everything is accessible, where little kids are glued to their iPhone. They're glued to their iPhone. They're glued to their iPad, and they see everything that's happening. Everything that's happening, and they mimic everything they see.
Even on these lives, like,
because they think it's right.
When these grown women celebrities be on their lives, freaking naked and all that, like it be kids in their lives, man.
Because we are so quick to say, oh, that's cute, or they just a kid. They just no, we can't do that. We understand that kids do the darnest things, you know. We understand that kids say stuff, you know, hilarious. Some kids say stuff with pizzazz. Some kids say stuff with attitude. Yes, that's cute, you know. But as it goes to, you know, the WAP, however I'm pronouncing it, no disrespect to the artist who made the song, we have to start thinking about the image that this is leaving on today's society. You know, I'm not saying that we need to be, you know, this way, or we need to be that way. You know, I'm not saying that. You know, I'm not saying that we need to be all in a straight line, like army style. You know, because indifference is what makes culture, is what makes people unique. You know, so I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we need to protect the young boys and girls. Every time I freestyle law, I say a rhyme. I always say, it's not secure for the young boys and girls. I've always said that. And I've been saying that since high school. And it stands the test of time, because this world is not secure for the young boys and girls.
At all.
It's not. And don't get me wrong, you know, everything is okay in its own access. And I want to repeat that. Everything is okay in its own access. Once it becomes a habit, that's when a problem occurs. I want to make sure that I'm making sense of that, because I could see people trying to take those words, everything in access, and try to frame me against what I just said. You know how they say, like, for the love of money
Mm-hmm.
is a sin. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like the love of money. That
Yeah.
same that same principle is what I'm talking about. So we have to be careful. You know how they say too much of one thing is bad for us?
Yep.
The same principle applies.
And also, if I could even say this, what's the point? That's like a simple question. Right now, with everything that's going on in the world,
Yeah.
what's the point of dropping that type of song right now? Goes back to my earlier question. Is the world's problem really important, or is money still the main objective for a lot of people?
Yeah. Yeah. And I get it. I could kind of get it. You want to post something that's this I don't want to say distracting. You want to post something that's distressing, something that could be a form of entertainment, something that could like get people off of the things that they're thinking about. You know what I'm saying? But I don't even think that thought process was made when they created the song.
Have you? Well, you never seen the video, but there's a WAP challenge. Like you have kids doing the WAP challenge, bro. Like,
Yeah. Oh, that just reminded me. Netflix,
oh,
a big shame on you. A, a fucking big shame on you. All right, for that bullshit that y'all want to put out. All right, all right. There's no reason why you should have that out right now. No reason why. No reason why. A big fuck you for that. Right. And let me just address this. I'm not even going to address Netflix. I just said what I said and I meant it. All these people out there, especially people on social media, talk all of this crap, yo, just for a trend. Oh yeah, Netflix, bump Netflix. I'm not I'm not gonna watch Netflix no more. Oh, TikTok did that. Oh, I'm not gonna sponsor TikTok anymore. Oh, Trump is supporting. Oh, the owner of Snapchat is a Trump supporter, so I'm not gonna do Snapchat anymore. And then 2 weeks later, y'all back on the same thing. And it's just like, what kind of principles do y'all have? What kind of standards do y'all have as a society?
the owner of Goya openly supported this man who then disrespected so many people, and nobody is willing to give up Goya. I threw every fucking Goya can I had in my crib, man.
Listen, listen. You know, this is society that we're living in, you know, and I'm not telling you what to believe in. I'm not telling you what to stand up for. And I'm pretty sure my brother's not doing the same. All we trying to say is open your mind.
Open your mind, my fault. Open your mind and stand on what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And there's a lot of people who just watch and don't say anything either. You know, and I have a big problem with that. I have a huge problem with that, because if all of us said something, maybe we can make a change. Maybe we can make the world a better place. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I'm gonna shut up with that. But yeah, I do stand what I said about F Netflix for that. If that comes out, it's supposed to come out on the 9th, I think. Is it the 9th it's supposed to come out?
Look at that. Yeah, it is. You just reminded me. Look at the day they decided to put it out. I also want to add something to that, and I'm not going to dive crazy in. I'm going to just leave it at this statement. Parents, look at yourselves. The parents of the child that's starring in that movie, look at yourselves. Because I'm pretty sure now, if you feel away, it's only because the public made it known that this isn't right.
Yeah, facts.
Parents, look at yourself. I understand we all like I got kids. I understand certain parents live vicariously through their kids and you want your kids to make it. We all want to take care of our parents. Some things is not worth it. There's some things that you cannot put a dollar sign on. And I'll be damned if I have a daughter and allow her to be objectified, if I'm saying the word correctly, in that manner or exploited anywhere close to that manner, as well as my niece or nephew or anybody.
Nope, I already said it, yo. Yeah, bugging out. I already said I got a daughter. She going to karate.
Bugging out.
I already said it, man. He ain't doing none of that. Ain't doing none of that, yo. Like none of that, man. Like I could understand the Spanish culture. You know how the young girls dancing, because it's a part of their culture. Like it's something that I've been doing since, you know, I could understand that. I could stand the African culture because we have similar dance routines and stuff like that. It comes in our culture. I could understand for cultural purpose alone. I understand that's to pay respect to our ancestors and for the young kids to learn about tradition. So when they get older, they can pass it down. But to sexualize is what's been happening for the last 10 years, if you haven't been paying attention. Making everything sexualized. And what you do when you sexualize things, you damage the brain. You damage the critical part of the brain for thinking. You make people more lazy. You make people procrastinate more. If people are focused more on sex and sexualizing things, then they can't focus on the other issues at hand. And there's so many other issues that need to be addressed right now, which we won't talk about now. If you want us to have a Patreon, comment below. You know, just say yes or no. You know, you don't have to go in detail. Yeah, make a Patreon, do this, do that. I mean, if you want to, that's fine, but just say yes or no, and we'll consider it. But yeah, there has to be some thinking, you know, involved. You know, I don't have a daughter. You know, I don't have a child, so I can't tell Cardi B, you know, what the right thing to do is for her daughter or what the right thing is. You know, I cannot utter those words. You know, I can only say what I would do in that situation. I know that Kylie Jenner was in the video. She has a child as well. So then again, I point the same question or the same feedback to you in a sense. I can't say what I really want to say to you because I do not have a child. So I'm not in that right. I can only say what I think I would do in that situation. Yeah. You know, yeah, I think we touched on a lot today. You know, the whole premise was to here we go again. You know, where do we go from here? You know,
it's a perfect question. It's a perfect question.
Yeah, it's like here we go again with everything. You know, I think we touched on it without even saying the topic. You know, here we go again with the deaths that's happening. Mm-hmm. Here we go again with the coronavirus and what we feel about it. You know, here we go again with the violence. You know, here we go again with the cultures not uniting and coming together. Here we go again with people trying to get out of New York because of coronavirus and the rent being too high, et cetera, and people just people are really trying to make ends meet. You know, I done talked to one of my homies from school, and he told me that he wants to get out of here. You know, and New York is not making people happy anymore. You know, and so here we go again. It's like, where do we go from here? You know, to the things that Desmond mentioned as well. You know, and listen, we didn't start this podcast to have it left on deaf ears. You know, I just want to state that we didn't start this podcast because for the last time we're trying to get back at anybody or anything. We started this podcast because we feel like we have a dire message that we want to express to the listeners, whoever thinks it not robbery to watch this. You know, we started this podcast because we want to represent the people who have a dream and want the dream to become fruition or reality. They want to see their seed grow. So please take everything we say with a grain of salt. Please take everything we say in a positive light, you know, and let it fuel your vehicle to push you towards your heart desires. Um, we we announced the giveaway. Once again, we repeat it.
200 subscribers and or 200 followers either on Instagram or here where you're watching this right now on YouTube. It's like Lade stated earlier, it's not going to be, you know, a little whack $20 gift card, things like that. We really want to show you guys our appreciation. We just have to reach that number first, man. 200. If you like what you're watching, pass it on to the next person. They'll pass it on, man. We all here to grow. 200.
Yeah, announcements. Do we have any announcements? Yeah, we are trying to come up with new ideas and have a lot of new guests on the show. So if you think that you are one of them, please send us a DM on Instagram. They fired us. Make sure you also follow or send us the email at theyfiredusny@gmail. They fired us ny@gmail. Other announcements. If you want to see our personal journey or just get to know more of us, you can follow myself on Take It Easy Tiger NY. That's Take It Easy Tiger NY. You can follow my friend at
Desmond Bonet, man. I will be putting up pictures soon, so people can stop bombarding me with why there's no pictures on your page. Like, it's coming. Don't worry about it, man. But
yeah. Don't worry about it, man.
Don't worry about it, sweetheart. But y'all know how I am with support and plug, man. This man right here, he's my brother. He makes, you know, fire pieces. Y'all can also follow his YouTube channel, Take It Easy Tiger, Instagram. Everybody loves Tiger for these amazing pieces, man.
Yeah, and you can follow my friend Desmond Bonet. He has a new series on his YouTube, The Room. Just type in The Room on YouTube and you're gonna see it, man. You're gonna see it. Forever Living, Never Dying. TV.
There you go.
There you go. You can follow that too if you can't find it on The Room. If you search in YouTube The Room and you don't see it, you know, type in FLDN TV and you'll see everything on there as well. Maybe we'll do a YouTube another episode, just support your own, where we just shouting out everybody we support, because I know Desmond, he really emphasizes, you know, the support. And you know, you see him, you know, with different shirts from different friends and just different products. There was one where he was supporting some makeup or some lip care, something like that. There was another one where they had some eyelashes as well. So he's always supporting. You know, me, you know, I support, but not as much. So maybe we'll have another episode where we just support. So if you have a business and you want us to shout you out, man, listen, we're doing it for free. We're not even asking for any fee for promotion. Like, we're doing this from our hearts. You know, we're doing this because, you know, we believe that all people should be connecting and just
Thanks.
and just sharing each other's thing. You know, Joe Budden. No, I'm lying. Was it Joe Budden or was it? I think I was watching this fitness. Yeah, it was actually on this fitness YouTube that I sent you, and they said collaboration over competition.
Mm-hmm.
They said that, you know, and I said I'm gonna make a YouTube on my own channel about that. But
the only fee that I would personally say that I charge is make sure you're supporting someone. Don't see this and be like, oh, they're gonna support, so let me send. Make sure, even if it's not us, make sure you're supporting someone.
Yeah.
I wish that my fault. I wish I had the name of the company. Oh, I wish I had the name of the company. There's a company based in LA, and that's literally what they do. They go online, search through millions or hundreds of Black-owned businesses, and they buy a piece from each and every Black-owned business and support it. And all they ask those people to do is basically, in a sense, pay it forward. We supported you. We bought something. You don't have to buy something from us, but find another Black-owned business and do the same thing. So that's all I ask. We supporting. Make sure you're doing the same.
Exactly. I'm happy you said that too, because whenever I come up with merch, I don't force anybody to buy anything. I'm always asking, are you sure? And I kind of gauge the conversation to see if they're just buying it to support me, or they buying it because they like the design and they like or they like the shirt. I don't want anybody to just put out money just because. I want people to actually buy because they actually like the brand and they like the meaning behind what I'm doing, et cetera, et cetera. It's cool to support. I'll take the money too. But when you support something because you love it, not only do you come back, but you cherish that, you cherish the product, or you cherish that service longer. So that's just a 2 cents kind of thing. Yeah. Here we go again.
Facts, man. DMX voice. What I'll end off with saying is to kind of add to a lot they were saying as far as why we came up with this podcast. Also, taking the title. The title is not just for working class or 9 to 5. They fired us. You could talk about that within the times we're in now. They can be anyone. And right now, the way things are going, the way we're living, they are trying to constantly fire us on a daily basis. Which is why we try to not only remind ourselves, but remind you guys that doesn't mean you have to fire yourself. I'm not going to explain furthermore. You should get that. And that's like the purpose of everything we try to do, which is why some episodes it's like this, where we're not really talking about anything work related, but it has to do with everything that's going on today. And it's just another way of us letting you guys know that, look, they're working hard to make sure we're not here. You got to work harder to make sure you stay here. And why not stay here with a purpose instead of just you're here?
Yeah. Took the words out of my mouth, man. I like what you said, bro. Good job, man. Good job. We normally exit with our little theme song, paying tribute to Chadwick. Just gonna do the Wakanda Forever. And we'll just leave in a moment of silence to represent him, his legacy, and the legacy that he would leave to the young children who do not know him yet. Thank you for watching. We're going to do a moment of silence. May his soul rest in perpetual peace and have a smooth transition to the heaven gates. See you on the next episode. Thank you for watching it.
Appreciate y'all, man.